Every soldier that PCS at Fort Bragg seems to have a different story. One family says we made money there. Another one may say, big mistake, we should have rented, it would have been smarter. And another person may say, stay on base and avoid the headaches. So who is actually right? It comes down to one simple question. What is your end goal? So let's start with living on post at Fort Bragg.
Fort Bragg.
If it's all about convenience for you, you can't beat it. You work on base, you live on base, everything's literally 10, 15 minutes away. You can make it home for lunch if you want to save some money and head back out to work. You got to do PT in the morning, makes everything easy. Obviously, you guys know this. No long drive from Hope Mills, from Fayetteville, Eastover, any one of the cities or suburbs you're looking to move to. So why do most families love it? Well, obviously, you're saving money. You're living on base. They're paying for everything. You don't have to pay to live there. No power bill, no water bill, and you don't have to worry about maintenance cost. If something breaks, they're going to handle it. For busy families or single soldiers who want simplicity, it's the easiest and best choice. And just talking to some families who have lived on base, they said it makes it easiest when the husband or wife is deploying. Everything is close by. You got friends, nearby that can actually help you with the family, anything you have going on in life. Everything's just right there. It's so convenient. And it makes total sense to me.
Makes sense.
But here's the trade-off. You don't have much control. There's usually a waiting list. And when your name comes up, you often get something you don't want. You get what's available.
Wait, what?
One of the horror stories I have, or I'm not saying horror story, but one of the things I helped a couple who was pregnant, expected another one, and they already had 3 kids. And they told me for the past 2 years, their oldest daughter was sleeping in the living room for the past 2 years. The living room basically was now her bedroom. So the family could enjoy, sitting in the living room together because it was her bedroom. And yes, you're living on base for free, but you don't get your BAH. That's basically going to your housing. So, trade off living on base, you lose your BAH. And that's money you'll never see again. So if you're looking for convenience, on-post housing makes the most sense. But if you want more options, more space, then maybe living off base and renting a house or an apartment would be better for you. So renting off-post obviously gives you more flexibility, more freedom per se. You're not living on base where you have to abide by their rules and make sure your grass is cut and things like that. You live in an apartment, they take care of all the maintenance. Of course, if you live in a house, you're going to have to buy a lawnmower possibly, or you can just hire somebody to cut your grass or weed your grass. You control where you live, how you want to live. If you need a 3-bedroom house with 2 bathrooms, you're going to get it.
You give me what I want.
You're obviously going to, find a house or apartment that has that. Need a garage, don't need a garage, want a big yard. For the most part, you have a lot of control over some things. Obviously, what's available is what's available, but it's a bigger, broader things to choose from. If you want to live in Hope Mills, where I live at, it's a great place to live. I'm near the lake. We have a lot of cool stuff out here. We've got a rec center. We've got a walking, running track. I think it's about 2 miles long, maybe a little longer. We've got a movie theater out here. You commute to Fort Bragg, could be about 25, 30 minutes. So they are building 295. And the 295 exit entrance ramp should be completed hopefully by 2026, but I do not know for sure. If you're looking for more space, you want acreages, or you want a whole lot of space between neighbors, Raeford, Eastover, Stedman are some good areas you may want to move to. But if you want to live right in the middle of the city of Fayetteville, Haymount's a good area that a lot of people like moving to. You're close to downtown, the movie theater, mall, restaurants, everything like that. So everything is kind of compact right there, right in the heart of Fayetteville. So your BH will decide what kind of lifestyle you want to live or going to live, not a housing office. So why rent off base? Well, it gives you that mental separation from work. You're leaving the base, you get to wind down. It makes a big difference to a lot of people. For me, I must say it does. For me, I live in Hope Mills. And when I was a police officer and leaving Fayetteville, coming to Hope Mills, it was like a different sanctum to me. It just felt different. Crossover to Hope Mills, not that it was terribly far. It just felt a whole lot different. And maybe you might have that feeling. You may not have that feeling. It depends on you. When you pull in that driveway, you get to decompress and you left work. And maybe the long drive may help you wind down a little bit. So when you get home, you're relaxed, you're going to enjoy walking the house. You got a family, kids, wife, husband, whatever, boyfriend, girlfriend. You got now a chance to, wind down and enjoy the rest of the evening with them maybe. It's low stress. It's just like living on base, but with, more flexibility. Some breaks, you call the apartment manager. If you're renting a house, you call the landlord or the property management team. They're going to come out and fix it. If you happen to get new orders and you have to break your lease, not a problem. You're covered, of course. There's a military clause that says if you get orders to move, they cannot punish you by saying you did breach the contract or the lease. You did, yes, but military orders allow you to do that.
I did not know that. Did you know that?
And of course, here are the realities or some of the issues with living or renting off base. You got a pet deposit. You got to pay your own utilities. Some of those may require a deposit depending on how your credit is. And if you never open an account here, they may ask for a deposit. I've seen where they've asked for deposits of $200 to $300 because you have no account here, maybe a young soldier, and you got no stability here just yet. So they may ask for that. You got to do an inspection of the place. Whatever place you may rent, be the apartment or house, definitely inspect it real good. You don't want to kind of find out that, you don't turn the water on or electricity on and kind of find out something's broke. Definitely address it up front. Make sure it's fixed right away. And unfortunately, there are going to be bad property managers, bad landlords, just like there are bad tenants. They may not get the things right away or may not get things at all. Unfortunately, cost of doing business, unfortunately, it's the way it is. And the best homes are typically for sale, not for rent. What I mean by that is, the updated kitchen, the nice granite countertops, the big yard, swimming pool, things like that. You might not be able to find those. They are a diamond in the rough, and maybe everybody's looking for that kind of house. So you're not going to always find the perfect house as rental. Most landlords, property managers are going to have the basic. There's not going to be no, big old nice kitchen, unfortunately, sometimes, where if you're liking to cook and want to invite everybody over, for Thanksgiving, Christmas, whatever, you may not have that space or luxury to do something like that. Short-term assignments, in my opinion, renting is your best option or living on base. If you're going to be here for 3+ years or more, I would say definitely, you may want to look at buying. Not saying you have to, just as my opinion, of course. But financially, this is a smarter choice. If you buy a house at, say, $200,000, just a good round number, and you're going to be here for 3 years or more, you're going to make an investment. The house may be worth about, it appreciates roughly 2 to 3% each year on average. So you could make some money when you go to sell it. Let's say you want to hang on to it and you decide, hey, I'm moving to PCS, my next duty station, or let's say you're going to stay here longer and you want to upgrade your house. You can now rent that house out, make some income, build a portfolio if that's a route you're looking to go with investing in real estate properties. Buy your next house either in Fayetteville or wherever you may move to. You do have entitlements, and I think the top you can go here is like $880,000, I believe it is. I have to look that up for you guys. But you can definitely use your VA loan more than once if someone has told you differently. But there's a cap off, but you can use it more than once. And I hit on it a little bit earlier, but you can either love or hate your landlord, your property manager. Some are good, some are bad. It's just the way it is. I've heard some horror stories of where, one of the bathrooms went out and it took them weeks or days to get back to you. By email, you call them, you email them, nothing. And you're wondering what should you do. And you're threatening to, take them to court and all that stuff. And, no one has time for court. You got to go to small claims where you got to prove your case. You got to take a time off from work and do all this. So renting, it's not always going to be, there's always goods and bad with it, just like with living on post, just like with buying a house. And if you're thinking of buying in the Fayetteville surrounding areas, please reach out to me and the team, All American Real Estate Group. We'd love to help you. We've helped thousands of soldiers PCS to the area and buy a home. So if that's something you're looking at doing, please reach out to us. You can scan the QR code up here in the corner, or you can contact me below at the number provided. So let's talk about buying a home near Fort Bragg where your BAH finally gets to work for you. When you're buying a home, that's something you're investing in and now belongs to you. You get to pick the neighborhood: Anderson Creek, Gates 4, Hope Mills, Haymount, Eastover, Stedman. If you're looking for a certain school district, Jack Britt, 71st High School, Westover, Terry Sanford, wherever it may be, or even another city like Southern Pines and Sanford, you have that choice. First great thing is the freedom factor. You don't like the color of the door? Paint it. You like the color of the walls, the outside? Paint it. You want to add a deck? Go ahead. You want to put your doghouse in the backyard? Go for it. You want to add a fence? Let's do it. No pet fees, no permission needed unless you live in an HOA. You should know all that before you buy the house. There are some HOA restrictions or even some covenants you don't know about.
I am the HOA.
What?
And every mortgage payment builds equity in your home. Wealth you can cash out later. So here's the difference. When you live on base, your BH goes to the housing company. When you rent, your BH goes to your landlord. When you buy a house, your BH goes back in your pocket for home equity. Because essentially, let's say your BH is, let's say, $2,000 a month. And let's say your mortgage payment is $1,700 a month. You now put $300 back in your pocket every month. And then when you go to sell your house in 3+ years, you're going to get that money back too. So that's a great thing. Or if you decide to rent it out, you're going to get that money back over passive income over a period of time. This is how families turn PCS moves into long-term gains. I'll give you another example. I had one of my clients buy a house in Hope Mills for $220,000. He had it for about 4 years, I believe. He called me up, wanted to sell it, and we were going to sell it for $280,000. So he basically walked away with a $40,000 profit in 4 years. That one decision set him up for his next house when he PCS to his next duty station and gave him a little bit of cushion. And that's not rare. That's what a stable market looks like in the Fayetteville surrounding areas. So what's the catch? Well, buying isn't for everybody. Like I said earlier, if you know you're going to be here for less than 3 years, your safe bet is to probably rent off base or live on base. And I say that because it wouldn't be smart to come here, buy a house, and in 1 year you end up PCSing. I know things can happen. You don't know what's going to happen. And if you decide to go sell the house, you're really going to lose money because now you have to pay commissions to both sides typically. You haven't built enough equity in your home. You're more paying the interest on your home than you are the equity on your home. If you look at your mortgage statement, if you have a mortgage statement, you see it all broke down for you of how much interest you're really paying. So it wouldn't really be a smart move in my opinion.
Normally I would not do it.
But if you plan on staying for a long time, or even if you're not, you're going to rent it out later, using your VA loan is one of the smartest moves you could ever make. In my opinion, it's one of the most powerful tools you have.